So for cooking my chapati, I have a nice flat pan. But if you don't have one like this, you can use a fry pan. It's no big deal. And then before we get on to rolling our nice round chapatis, for our masala chapati, it's actually, we're going to stuff something inside it. Super, super cool. So you take this is the chickpea flour that I showed you earlier. And then to this, I'm going to also add a little bit of spice. So from my spice box, I'm going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, a little touch of chili powder, because this is not about being spicy, this is about being tasty. I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of coriander seed powder, because I really like the flavour, and 1/2 teaspoon of cumin seed powder. So popping those into the chickpea flour or the besan flour, and then I'm going to just put a little bit of salt there as well, just a little, and then I'm going to mix this up just using my finger. I need to dirty a spoon that I have to wash later. All right, beautiful. So this is ready. Now our dough. So just getting back, unwrapping it from its cloth, checking it out. Now, with this amount of dough, I think I will make 3 chapatis. So I'm just going to make them into balls, like a little, maybe just slightly bigger than a golf ball size. And then it's time to roll them. This is the fun part, because first time you roll chapati might end up looking like the map of some random country and not so round, but it's totally okay, still tastes the same. But you know, I was taught by people who taught me how to make great round chapatis. So I haven't rolled a chapati for a long time, so I'm going to do my best attempt at making a round chapati. And to roll it, rather than putting flour on the board, because I don't want the chapati to stick, but I also don't want it to be floury, I'm going to drop a little bit of oil onto the board and just spread that out a bit. Now I'm going to see if I can move the camera so that you can just see the board rather than see me talking, so you can see me roll my nice round chapati. But before I do, I have this nice chapati roller, which I just put a bit of that oil on as well. Obviously round chapati roller that I got in India, but not necessary to have a small one like this. You can use your regular rolling pin if you have one of those at home. Or sauce bottle, always good for the rolling action. Okay, let's see if I can readjust the camera for you. Beautiful. So here's my dough, and you can see the oil on my board. You can do that directly on the bench, whatever feels okay for you. Just get a little bit of oil around that, and then I'm going to squash that down, that out of the way, and rolling my chapati out. And you can see that I'm moving it around quite a bit, and that's so that I can ensure that I place equal pressure on the edges of the dough to get it to try as much as possible to make a round shape. But as I said before, if you end up making the map of Argentina or the map of Greece or the map of England, it really doesn't matter. Okay, so here's the round chapati. Now this is super tricky because in this stuffed version, you get to roll the same chapati twice. So if you didn't get it right the first time, You can have another crack. All right, so what I'm gonna do, this is the chickpea flour with the spices in it. So I'm placing a bunch of that in the center of this chapati, and then I'm going to fold the edges of this chapati up. So it's like a nice parcel, and I'm going to seal that chickpea flour inside, and then a little squish, and I'm going to roll this again. So you want to be nice and gentle when you're rolling this second time, so that chickpea flour and those spices stays locked inside. So if a little bit of it spurts out or whatever, no big deal. Especially on your first time. Okay, so roll that out. Not making a really huge flatbread here. Just a beautiful, delicate little masala chapati. Oh, little crease there. Just roll that out a little bit. Great. Now, I've got my pan over here, and I popped it on, so it's a little bit warm. I'm going to put a little bit of oil there. In India, my friends would use ghee, but today we're going to use oil, and I'm going to drop that chapati on there. Just move it around so that it gets all coated with the oil. Now, because it's got raw flour on the inside of this casing, so that it will cook a little bit inside, I'm just going to drop that lid over it so there's a little bit of steam cooking there, helping to cook the flour that's inside the chapati. Now, of course, while that one is cooking, I'm just going to prepare the other two chapatis. I'm getting hungry now. So I've rolled the other two chapatis, and this one is still cooking. And I'm just using my cloth to push the chapati onto the pan a little bit so that it doesn't bubble up and expand too much. And then I'm just using my hand to flip it over. But of course you can use a spatula or something so you don't burn your fingers. And if you need a little bit more oil on the pan, if you feel like it's a bit dry and stiff, just pop a little bit more oil. Otherwise, just continue to cook your 3 chapatis or however many you've made, just like that. So checking out this beautiful breakfast. So the masala chapati and the dhal, and I've got some lemon as well because I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lemon into the dhal just because I had that on my tree. And I'm going to just rip off bits of the chapati, pop it in the dhal and eat it. If when I taste the dhal, if I feel like adding a little bit of chili or turmeric or cumin seed powder or anything else into the dhal because it's not tasty enough, I'll just add it at the table. This is how you make masala chapati, and I hope that you give it a go and enjoy. Just wanted to let you know that it tastes just like home.